Feaster. Awful, nerfed, not base or red pilled, but he's banging all the bitches. And if you want to bang one too, let's just say, we got a lot of work cut out for us, man. First things first, detention trump card. Detention, double damage after the last cipher's been popped. Trump card for that trade exchange mid to late game, because in your early, you have a cooldown. I like to go 3 Berserk because 25% attack recovery is really strong, especially with Feaster being one of the slowest attack recovery characters. So my playstyle is I run to you, I hit you, and by the time you get to the other chair, there's going to be a tentacle waiting for you. So that's pretty neat. Wanted order is extra information, and depending on who's marked, depends on what I want to do with my next course of action. If I got the decoder, I know I only have to look for 2 different ciphers that are wiggling, and if one isn't wiggling, I know they're coming from that direction to rescue. Desperate Fight. If I got Desperate Fight, that means there's an Enchantress or Prospector. If you got anything else that does only 1 stun, or you're afraid of eating one specific palette, feel free to just take Rage. But for the most part, I do end up taking Desperate Fight in most of my games.
Oh, you need to put a little seed on that thing.
Stick to it.
What? Man, come on now, get that pep off there. Come on, somebody come get this, man. Come on now. Come on, get that pep off. That's just too much doggone pep. I don't really want to see this no more.
That's really all you need for a brisket.
God! Oh my God! But why you putting all that pep on there? Take that off of there! Get that pep off!
Alright boys, let's talk external traits. I want to focus more on these over their actual abilities, because these are like the little things you need to understand in order to improve your gameplay. I'll run through Nightmare Gaze, which is his ultimate ability, and the way it works is that you activate someone and then the icon changes from an eyeball to a tentacle slap. If a tentacle is nearby a survivor, it will be highlighted, and then you can use the ability again to swing that specific tentacle without actually having any vision on them. And if it's not near them, then it'll just stay like unhighlighted until the actual ability wears off or a tentacle is nearby. The ability lasts for 20 seconds on a specific person, or until they actually go down. Well, that's about it. Reason why I want to talk about these is because Terrified. You notice we don't take Tinnitus on our actual Persona build, and Terrified is his built-in Tinnitus. So the way it works is whenever a survivor enters your what is it called? Your terror radius, the thing that makes a survivor's heart go thump, 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 then that means you'll start regenerating tentacle. And the way you get automatic tentacle regeneration is if you hit someone twice and unlock Condensation of Terror. But when you start the game, you have 0 regeneration until someone is within your terror radius. Shape of Terror is like a 3-piece combo kind of thing. So it tells you that when a survivor is injured or a teammate is knocked down, then a tentacle will spawn. It also tells you that tentacles give a debuff that slow decoding, gate opening, vaulting, and healing speed. So you always want to pop a tentacle near like a pallet or a window or a cipher to really harass them. If it's by a cipher, they need to undo the tentacle in order to actually decode properly. So it's a really good harassment tool when using your tentacles. It also tells you that tentacles despawn a lot faster when someone is chaired. So just keep those little things in mind, especially the tentacles despawning faster, because if you put a tentacle on the chair and it's been there for quite a while, when you need it the most, it might disappear. It's happened to me many times, and it's something you do have to keep in mind. Coolios boys, you made it this far, and I appreciate it. So I'm going to share with you my greatest secret, the guidelines to playing Feaster. Now, when I first started, I didn't know what the hell I was doing, but with a little help from, my stream and LCY Alex, I did end up figuring out, I guess, a method for myself to follow, and this is what I came up with. Step 1. Search and share the survivor within 60 seconds, or at 5 ciphers. You go past that 60-second mark, or ciphers start to pop, your win's looking like a tie or a loss at most. Step 2. Harass ciphers and look for the rescuer. Now, when you're harassing a cipher, keep in mind you do have peepers, you do have tentacles, and you have to step out of that bubble, that comfort bubble you have of camping that chair and harassing ciphers. But at the same time, remember, you're not going to be at that cipher the whole time. You just pop your stuff there and then you walk back, because you don't want that rescuer rescuing from behind you. Step 3. Hit the rescuer and down the rescuee. So more than likely, Best case scenario, you're gonna hit the rescuer and then you're gonna down the rescuee. That's your best case scenario. Well, something better than that is killing the rescuer before he gets there, but as you climb, that's not gonna happen. So, I prefer going over the rescuee than the rescuer, unless I know the rescuee is walking in the same direction as the rescuer, then I can hit both and then they both die at my feet and then I have 2 downs. But that's only if they're running in the same direction or I know where the rescuee is rotating to. But more than likely, just hit the rescuer and you'll be fine. Step 4. Kill the shared survivor or repeat step 2 and 3. So either kill the shared survivor or they rescue a second time because they rescued before half. If they rescued after half, you can skip, I think, step 4 entirely and just go to step 5, which is repeats step 1 through 4. But, I mean, come on. More than likely, that's never going to happen, especially in the high tiers. So, repeat step 2 and 3, and then do it all over again, then go to step 5, and then do it all over again. Plan is extremely simple. You just need to step out of your comfort zone, harass those ciphers, make sure you're dealing damage, because if you're not harassing ciphers, you're giving out free decoding time, and if you're not dealing damage, then your panic is not being used at its full potential, right? And remember, we're taking panic on our persona, and that's the persona that allows to add extra difficulty to decoding ciphers by 3% per injure. Alright boys, this is some live low tier gameplay. I'm gonna try to demonstrate and show you how to actually use your abilities and whatnot. Ooh, it's kinda neat. Anyways, I know someone spawns over here at the very corner. Checking it out. I find her. She's chilling. Pop that there. Make sure she doesn't kite. Ooh, she's kind of fast though. She's kind of nutty. Alright, that was a waste of a peeper. Or was it? Ah! I ended up hitting her with a lunge. Very useful. She's gonna try to block me off with this pallet here. Alright, cool. So now that she's in a very awkward... Let's just get rid of these bees, because I know she's not gonna go anywhere. And just to be sure she's gonna go anywhere. Put something over the wall. She recognizes it as a threat, and then I end up hitting her here nonetheless. Easy does it, right? So you can use your tentacles to obviously shove people off objectives. If they feel they can't make it, they will change their rotation, right? So then I got 2 free tentacles here. Well, one of them I put down, but that one's indicating that someone's coming from this direction. I'm starting to sense someone is coming. That's Gardener. I'm gonna block her off because I'm fat. Cool, 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 cool pod. Alright, now I know my own range. Use one of these. I'm gonna go for a regular hit on anyone here. Oh, smurfed on me. Okay, so things didn't go according to plan as I wanted them to, but, you know, nothing ever really does. But she's kiting in this direction, and I'm completely okay with this. I'm gonna put a peeper there to cut their decoding, and I know she's over here. She's right over there. She's gonna try to get into factory. It happens. Push her off. See? I don't need to chase her entirely in one direction. I could just, like, bait her off into doing something else, which is completely fine. But she's not... And I had 0 self-awareness. I almost butchered that. Alright, well, I failed the tentacle hit. That's fine. He ends up beating that. And she ends up beating that. He wastes his tide. Cool. Now, let's see. Lucky's injured. He's out of tide. I know she's over there. Let's go for this chase right here. See? The tentacle really pushes people off. Put a beaver there. Make sure he doesn't get up. I have 5 tentacles. I'm in a very comfortable spot. He's going to try to walk away from the peeper. I also put an extra, whatchamacallit there? An extra tentacle because he does heal a lot slower with that being present. So she ends up dying here. I have him down. And I was able to do that because I knew what direction she was going to head into. And not only that, but he was relatively close to me. He's a little salty, but hey, you know, I would be too if I played this bad. But, Sure, we can chair him here. Let's identify all the ciphers. The one at Shack is shaking, and the one by logs. So they're doing both ciphers at the same time. I have the liberty to actually walk away as far as I want because I know where both of them are, and a mech is not in this match. Alright? So I walk away. I'm chilling. I'm trying to identify. I find patient. I try to cut him off here. Let's go for a lunge attack. It ends up working. He's probably going to end up using his, whatchamacallit? Yeah, there it is. He ends up messing it up. I put it by chair. He is now doomed. You don't have to use your tentacle immediately. You can just bait them off from doing something. Now, we can do one of two things here. We can take this kid to chair or leave him to die. Lucky's gonna die very soon. No one's gonna rescue him because the cipher at Shack popped. This game is over. It's done. There's no way to come back from this. Let's go chase our nice friend Gardner. Yeah? They surrendered. That's game.
Alright boys, I showed you live gameplay. Now here is a good saved match from a while back. These are Titans and Champions. First things first, I head over to a spawn. I catch the Prospector. I put a peeper here because there is a cipher and a window vault that they like to use to rotate to into the next area. I end up trailing him behind a little bit. I just generated my first tentacle. I don't know where he's at. I'm going to follow his trail because I don't have another peeper to check over this wall. He hits me with a magnet. I wanted to spawn a tentacle there, but I refused because, you know, he has a magnet and he'll end up, like, pushing me into the wall. But, unfortunately, he messes up, and I end up hitting him here with a spawn tentacle. So, great match, good start. Probably a really lucky start, but great start nonetheless. I chair him here, and then I check all ciphers. So now I know these two are wiggling and this one as well, but I don't exactly know who is at those specific ciphers. So I end up popping a tentacle here. I swing it to detect if anyone's sneaking around me or is behind me, but no one's there. I don't know who's here. I end up spawning a tentacle for that harass. I spawn a peeper here. I know it's Merc, and then I see Mechanic here. So then the furthest person on the sandbag cipher is the postman. So now I have location of each and every person. With that information, I can definitely do something with it. So I pop a peeper here just in case if he does elbow pad towards me, the peeper catches him and he walks slowly, and then I end up getting a hit. But it looks like he's just trying to bait me to attack so he can elbow pass by me. He ends up messing up. I end up hitting him. And then I head back to chair because I did get my free hit. I catch Mike here and make sure he's not following behind. So you saw him dismantling stuff back there. I'm not going to catch her in time. I pop a tentacle here at an angle where I know I'm going to hit it. I end up popping a peeper here because I have no actual range, like vision on this wall. So then I try to rotate right with him as well because right has more pallets than left because there's nothing on the left. I pop a tentacle here. I have desperate fight. I'm okay with landing this. Then he messes up again. Unfortunately, I end up hitting him. That is his after chair. So then I head over, chair him again, and then we're gonna move on over and head to those ciphers that aren't finished. So with this free tentacle up here, I do want to try and track if anyone's around my area. Unfortunately, no one is, and the tentacle has this bug where if you swing and the chair is still sending someone out of the game, it will swing to the closest chair. Well, we'll consider him being in the game still, for some reason. Alright, so I pop up here just to harass that cipher. I rotate around here to make sure no one's here. I do the same tentacle tracking trick. And it tells me someone's over here. I don't know who is over here. Well, I know who, I just don't know which of the two. So I see the scratch marks on the ground. I assume someone's down here, but no one's down here. I end up popping a peeper. I still end up getting vision on these guys. I pop a tentacle here. And because I lack enough vision, I end up missing that tentacle late. And here, I don't want to stay. There's no cipher. There's nothing for me to actually do besides chase them. And at this stage in the game, I do want to harass those ciphers and make a pick while they try to decode. I end up catching Postman here. Pop a peeper here. I block 2 pallets of window and that cipher, which is huge. I end up marking them with
Nightmare Gaze. I pop a tentacle in front of him. I swing. He tries to do the circle trick. He ends up messing up. I try to get greedy and do it again. Unfortunately misses. He's too close. I end up hitting him. So this is a really great spot because I can harass 2 ciphers since there is a chair by this big rock right here. And then I see the mech doll here, and then I see Merc here, and I know Mech hasn't decoded, so I know she's over there. So here I pop a peeper to slow rescuing speed. Here I pop a peeper because it doesn't reach. That first one doesn't reach the actual cipher. I end up going for a hit here because I do need to do damage. I run 3, whatchamacallit, 3 Berserk. So I get that fast pickup. I swing the tentacle, he ends up getting hit. I end up mind gaining Mech here. So now the bot is out of the match and I'm only having to deal with a really slow decoding Mech, a slow decoding Merc, and a dead Postman. Keep in mind I now have 6% decoding debuff with the panic trait we did decide to take for our persona. I end up tearing him here, and I'm completely okay with this because they're both really slow decoders. And while they are over 50, it is a pain to actually not finish a cipher across the map and then, you know, head back while... It's hard to successfully rescue while, you know, having 2 ciphers on the map. Especially when one person about to die. So I don't want to exactly get any pallets here from Mech. They end up popping that last cipher. I end up hitting Mech here with a lunge. She tries to rotate back in because Postman is gone. Now it's a 2v1. I end up trying to get this guy, pop a peeper here. Because I do not want Mech touching the cipher if he does end up kiting low, because he is a good kiter. I think this kid was in Koa. He ends up elbow patting it back, and check this out. Pop a tentacle, I don't use it, I wait it out, and I see him walk away, and then I use it. I bait out the pallet, I pop a tentacle because I'm predicting his movements, he ends up getting hit, and that's a free down for me. I end up picking him up, and then I still have that chair by Big Rock. I see Mech here, she's not decoding unfortunately. And so I have a chair here, I have the cipher there. It's really, at this point the game's over. But then God decided, you know, God's like, no, I don't think the game is over. And then this kid just dodges every hit I throw at her. Just look at this kid, he's an animal. He's absolutely insane. What a god. But anywho, I end up hitting Mercenary again, my tentacle misses. I end up punching the cipher. I end up knocking him down. I pop a peeper here and I pop a tentacle just to slow that healing process. Because it is Merc, healing is a pain. And then I chase her. She's playing a good kite game here around this area, but she has to watch out for those tentacles. I end up swinging her here, I end up swinging here, I end up hitting her, and then they just surrender at this point because the game is over. Let me turn the down a little bit, but as you saw here, that was a good game for me, not exactly for them, because I did end up winning, and it's not really a good game if they end up losing. But point is, patience pays off. You do always want to, you know, predict where they're rotating. You do always want to harass those ciphers, walk back the chair. Eventually, you'll, you know, something will happen, and it's not always going to be a good thing. But you need something to happen. So let's say if they don't end up rescuing, that is time being wasted. If they end up rescuing, that means they're out of a tide. That's 2 injures, hopefully, if you play your cards right. And then someone else has to come over, use their tide, and then they're all out of tide because I'm assuming the other 2 take broken windows. 3 tides is a lot, but 2 tides is about average in the game. But, you know, you really want to waste their resources and then deal as much damage as possible to make sure the game doesn't go as smoothly, because, you know, if you do damage, it cuts into decoding time. If you waste resources, all they have is their kite game, and if their kite game isn't exactly good, they do end up losing the match. Oh, you guys are still here? Video's over. You can go home now.